But I feel like the reasons that you've suggested to me that like as to why you're crying more are because you're just taking in the moment.
Like I wouldn't let myself get upset about the kids getting big and oh my God, what is wrong with me?
Why do you think there's something wrong with you every time that like...
This took a turn.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on talking about this. How did we talk about this? Because we found a piece of his hair 4 years later. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dicksons, episode 5. I think I said this in episode 3 and maybe even episode 4, but I was like, these are going to be what the episodes are kind of like going forward. But I actually think this is actually what it's going to be like going forward, because episode 3 and 4 were like specifically subjected, like asking my wife questions, you answer, asking me questions, I answer. This is going to be more like there wasn't a plan. We just have a bunch of stories and a bunch of questions that we see like throughout the week that are like, oh, that'd be interesting to talk about, and then we'll just talk organically.
Yeah.
So
sounds good.
This week is probably the first unscripted. I think I talked about this in episode 1, but episodes are going to be unedited, unfiltered. Somebody actually mentioned this at the watch party the other night. They were like, I actually really liked that like you kept in the part that you don't like, where you're like, oh, I lost train of thought.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should have been saying something. And he's like, I actually liked that was left in. It just feels like a real conversation.
Oh, okay. I like that then.
So I think all the things you worry about, you're like, oh, if I cry too much, or if I forget what I'm going to say, or if whatever, I think authentic and just like unfiltered is how I want this podcast to be anyway.
Well, I'm very unfiltered, so...
Yeah. I mean, you're unfiltered, but then like you're sitting there being like, I hope they didn't think I was rude when I said that. It's like, nah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what your intentions are. If you come off very politely, if you come off too brash, if you're too judgy on a topic or anything like that, there's going to be people who are just like, oh, I'm sure they didn't mean bad by it. And then there's going to be people who are like, you're awful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of bad comments at some point. Have I already gotten some and you deleted them so I didn't see?
No, we're not. It's not that popular yet. Yeah. We just launched episode 1 this week, and we just closed out 2025. So that technically this is the first recording of 2026.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, 2026.
I know.
I don't like it.
How was 2025 for you?
It was kind of a blur, but also...
A blur because you don't have a good memory, or like...
Kind of both. Like, I don't have a good memory, and we just went through a lot of different stages with Caroline specifically. Mm-hmm. And 3 to 4 was a very hard year with her. Liam was great. Liam's sweet. He's kind. He's silly.
You remember back when... if she was being bad, all I had to do would be like Caroline, and then she would just like
what
sad
happened to
cry.
that?
Yeah, she doesn't care anymore.
she'll just smile at you with the most evil smile and know that she's
mischievous.
Pushing our mischievous. That's what I was looking for, and know that she's pissing us off.
Yeah,
and she loves it.
Yeah. Yep.
So evil.
So 2025 was best year for content.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's like we're going into we're finishing year 5.
This
because that was the year 4 subathon last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the year 5, starting year 6.
Wow.
That's wild.
It is wild. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I guess the podcast audience doesn't know, so I don't know if we'll go into the whole story. I guess we'll tell it really quickly. So 2021 rolls around. There's another restructure. My old career used to be Walmart management. There's a bunch of restructures that we always went through because they would shift different managers, different roles, increase roles, decrease roles. And I got sick of that. I got sick of the constant restructures and corporate politics. It wasn't for me anymore. So I took severance, I took 401k, and I dipped. So we're
see ya.
Yeah, so we're sitting in here. We have Liam, Caroline's on the way. We have Apollo. We're chilling. that's when I'm still hanging out in the other room, like gaming out there, or you would go to bed with Liam around like 10.
That tiny little corner entertainment center thing.
And I would pull that chair that's right out there right up to it. And I would just sit there and I was just watching like Dragon Ball or something like that. And trying to figure out what I wanted to do, whether it was like that management opportunity up here, or if it was like Olive Garden management, or there's like 2 other things we were looking at, doing some day trading, learning some coding. And I really don't remember how or what I was thinking, but it was like 2 a.m. and I was just like, I'm kind of known well in this specific gaming community. Not like really well, but like a little bit. I was like, what if I just bought a PC and just started streaming? Like I'd already been in esports organizations for like a decade, so I had helped manage other creators on what to do, like what's working for them. I was like, I could just do that for myself. So long story short, I just invested like $4,000 or $5,000 into a setup and marketing and design and art, and started streaming video games on May 26th of 2021, and just said, if I don't make really any money in the first like 90 days, I'll just grab a management job and whatever. And now we're in year 5.
I don't really remember a big moment of when you told me that you were going to stream.
It's so weird because like that's like the number one thing people ask is like what your reaction was. And it's like, it's so nonchalant to you, and it's so I don't know how to describe it. Like everyone always expects like that must have been like a really big conversation for y'all, and it was like not really.
I literally don't. I think you just said, I think I'm gonna try streaming. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was just
cool.
like, I'm gonna try streaming and making money doing it, and you're just like, okay. And then within 3 months, we were already. I remember I set like a 300 sub goal to do a 24-hour stream or something like that. We hit it in like the first week.
Nuts.
That I was streaming. We just had random dono goals that was just like, oh, if we get like $1,500, I'll just grab a dishwasher or whatever. Got that in like 3 weeks.
I was so happy about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I had no pre-built community. They just showed up and
here we are.
Here we are on our biggest income year ever, now starting a podcast. The podcast is doing pretty much how I expected it to. The shorts are like getting close to 1,000 views, which is very common for shorts because they push them out to different audiences. And then the first episode, which is an hour long, has like 170 views after like 2 or 3 days, which, considering it's just us talking, it's not bad. It's not great in terms of like success, but it's pretty much right where I expected. I expect like maybe in the first 15 weeks might only see a couple hundred views. Maybe you might see 1,000 if we catch something, but I really do think, I don't remember what episode we talked about this on, but I really think it'll basically rely on like one short catch it, just being popular for something we talk about. It'll just,
I say.
It doesn't even need to be crazy. Sometimes it's just something that catches a trend or groups of people's attention, and just a lot of people want to comment on what we're saying or whatever it is, and then that just becomes popular. Then more people check out the channel. That's usually how it works. But I think the consistency of the channel will be the saving grace of it. But like I said, if it doesn't, is what it is. So I don't know. We have questions. This is more just me and my wife talking rather than creating a notebook sheet of questions to ask each other. This is kind of just bouncing things off each other.
Yeah.
So like asking you how 2025 was, Caroline, her.
Yeah,
so
back
she
to
went
that.
from, relatively completely unsocial, not liking strangers at all, to kind of getting there sometimes, depends.
Yeah, she would scream cry anytime when someone would come over, and we couldn't really bring her anywhere without her scream crying. And if she left me at all, lost her mind. And then that's gotten better for sure, especially since starting preschool. And she's actually excited to go back Monday. So that's cool.
I wonder if she'll stop crying.
I hope so.
When we first brought her, she loved it. Well, no, when we first brought her, she was like, "Yeah, I don't know who you're leaving me with."
The first day was very hard.
Yeah, and then for like a good 2 weeks, she was just like, "All right, see y'all.
Bye, mommy.
Just bye, mommy. Bye, daddy."
About 10 times.
Yep, and then she'd just walk in, and then she regressed back to actually, you know what? So now she, sometimes cries, sometimes good.
Yeah,
But
you never know what you're gonna get.
Our children, we're blessed with children who want us around every second, and we're cursed with our children wanting us around every single second.
It definitely is a blessing and a curse. And I know that I'll look back on it and be so thankful for it all the time.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, it's just
it's
I
hard
remind
right now
myself
sometimes.
a little bit more than I think you do.
I have a lot lately. I've been I've been very much in my feels lately about them getting older, and especially I think with the holiday season.
Yeah.
I think I cried like 3 or 4 times at least, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yep.
Just because I was saying that I think this is the last year that Caroline will seem like my baby.
Yeah.
And next year she'll be 5.
Yeah.
So I know.
Gross.
I don't like that at all. Liam will be 8. Yeah. 8.
2026. So, yep.
Nuts. It's just going by so fast. It's so cliche that it just goes by in the blink of an eye, but it really does.
Yep.
But overall, I think it was good. I had a lot of fun times with my friends, kind of growing as a person on my own too, which is kind of nice. Like as a mom, you kind of lose yourself in motherhood, especially the very early years. So kind of rediscovering who you are and just making time for yourself and life away from, which stinks because I don't get to do a lot of that with you. So I would like to do more of that on our own sometime. I don't know.
I mean, we have a whole post-kids life.
Yeah,
that's why when people ask about, like, you having more kids? It's like, no. Like, I am excited for every single moment that we're going to have over the next X amount of years, going to their games or whatever they decide to do, hobby-wise, sports-wise, music-wise, whatever they decide to do. I'm excited for all of that, but I am also excited for our life post-raising kids. Because we have a whole nother chapter of life that we just get to go do things.
A lot of times you hear people say, oh, just wait till they move out. It's going to be so awful. It's going to be so sad. And it is. But at the same time, we get to rediscover our relationship and the next journey that we have together. So it's
all about how you take things. There's like that one story about there's a kid in a village and he falls and breaks his leg. And it's kind of like a motto that I always live my life by, because somebody just asked the other day, like, what's like your motto? And I was like, it is what it is. It's just what I say about everything. When good things happen, I'm just like, yep. When bad things happen, I'm just like, yep, it is what it is. And it's like, I don't overreact to good things. I don't overreact to bad things. It just is what it is. And I'll change what I can. But it's like, kid in a village falls, breaks his leg, and people are like, oh, that's so awful, so unlucky. And the person just says, maybe, or something like that. And then the military comes into town and they start drafting all the young boys, and he can't go because he broke his leg. And they're like, wow, you're so lucky, instead of like unlucky. And he's like, well, maybe. And then it just keeps going with like a good thing, a bad thing happening, but maybe something good coming from it. And then something good, but then maybe something bad coming from it. And it's just like, when I found out that like there was another restructure at my job and that was possibly going to make me have to voluntarily demote or have to move my store again or all the different things. And I was like, this is awful. This is like the worst thing that's happened to me. We have a daughter on the way. I don't know what my job is looking like and all these different things that have changed. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I don't feel bad for myself for too long, but I'm like, Jesus, like at the moment it was like, this is awful. Yeah. And now I'm sitting here talking with you for content. Yeah. And I'm playing video games for a living while being able to allow you to stay home with the kids, and you don't have to work, and I can work from home and see the kids every day. So it's like, you can sit there and feel sorry for yourself when these bad things happen, or you can just go make something better happen.
It's so true.
People just feel stuck sometimes, and I talk with a lot of people throughout my days of work, and it's just like, you can go do whatever you want. You don't have to stay at that job anymore. Okay, don't just quit, but like you can go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there's nothing special about me in the aspect of talent or anything like that. I just am obsessed with working towards a life I want.
Yeah, I keep seeing these things on TikTok or Facebook, and it's the content creators that say 5 years ago, you're going to have this idea to start a podcast or start creating content, and it's really important that you do that. And then they're just super famous all these years later. And it would be so cool if that happened. I'm not anticipating it happening, but it would be really, really cool if it did.
4 or 5 years ago, I said I'm going to play some video games for a living, and then I'm live on stage winning the Golden Bolt for Rising Star in front of 50,000 people watching and getting flown out to Arlington and just because I play some game, and I have people messaging me telling me I've saved their lives because of our content and the conversations we have. And
that's just crazy.
Almost 8 or 9 people now being like, I was going through something really dark, and you and your community and the conversations, and when I reach out and we chat about things, like even privately, and you chat with me, genuinely saved my life. And it's because I play some game, and hang out and chat with people every day, and now I do it for a living. It's
How does that make you feel?
Grateful. I'm always grounded in general anyway. Like, I'm always very perceptive of how rare the opportunity that we have is. But like when I was growing up and like I didn't have anyone around a lot, it was like, if I were to have had like been able to like watch something and be part of a community, so I wasn't just like sitting alone in my room or whatever playing games, but I like had like a community, kind of like how the community I've created. If I had that, it would have been like, I wouldn't say life-changing, but maybe. Mm-hmm. I didn't struggle all that much, even though this sounds like what I said was struggling, but like...
Yeah, I can't imagine that as a kid or...
Yeah, no, like... Yeah. Jen moved away at like 16. Made a better life for herself. Then my mom moved away. And then dad was always working construction, and mom was working 2 jobs, and then she moved. So I was just alone a lot. And if I like, so when somebody else is like going through something, or when somebody's alone, or somebody mentioned it the other day when we were talking about like, oh, you're streaming on like New Year's Eve. And I was like, well, you'd be surprised the amount of people that like want to be here instead of out drinking, or they just want to be chatting with us, which is super wholesome.
Yeah. It makes me feel really sad, but also really, I don't know actually the word for it. It makes me really sad that they
Grateful.
don't have someone to hang out with, but it's just so amazing that you're the one that they choose to hang out with, or we're the people that they choose.
I was gonna say, it's not even me. It's like, it's my job.
That,
I was gonna say, it's my job to like create and foster this community of people. So like my rules on like what you're allowed to do and not do, right, keeps like a good vibes of people, right? We don't allow certain type of toxic people into the group. It would be like if you were running like a community thing down at like I don't know, like a bar or whatever, and like you're running it, like you get to decide like what type of people are allowed there. You're not going to have loud people or obnoxious people, and like you're not going to want somebody to ruin the vibe. So it's like fostering that community creates friendships that people carry like into their own groups now, and they chat. So it's not even just me or us, like they come to hang out with like this thing we've created.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So it's like even like the conversation where you were talking about like not knowing where to sit at lunch or whatever, right? And that doesn't mean you don't have friends, but they still find this whole deal to be important enough to them to spend their time with us. So
I think it's really hard for people to grasp that concept that don't understand this kind of life, or
They don't.
streaming
They
and all
always
that.
think about it like in the aspect that like, wait, what? People are just gonna like sit here and watch you play a game. It's like, well, it's kind of that, but it's also like I'm doing homework or I'm doing other things, and I'm not doing it alone.
Yeah.
Like there's some people who used to just sit in Discord calls, or there's people that just like, and that's like what a lot of gaming turned into. Was a lot of times people aren't just like sitting there playing a game by themselves, but they're usually playing with friends. It's a way to connect.
Yeah. Also back to like if you had that as a kid, I can't imagine having that when I was younger
Oh, yeah.
too. Like having this accessible and just a place to hang out or talk to everybody. That would have been really cool.
It's like the amount of times that games were demonized
Yeah.
towards me, just like even just throughout my entire life,
Yeah.
without people realizing that like that's what got me through like times where stuff was bad, or like all the breakups I went through, right? Because I dated a lot in middle school, dated a lot in high school, and those obviously never worked out because they never do. But like I took it very personally and or whatever, right? And then also at the same time I'm kind of doing it on my own or alone or whatever. It's like I had games, so
Yeah.
it's like the amount of times like either girlfriends or maybe parents. My parents weren't too critical of games. I do remember my grandpa like reached out one time where he's like, I think you're addicted to video games. And I was like,
Yeah.
Jack,
Grandpa Jack.
I appreciate you so much, but you know, like when we go on vacation, like I have no desire to play games. They're just there for when I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But
I swear, just being in front of a camera and just having it just be, it just makes me emotional. I
think it's just because we don't actually just talk through things, because it's like we've been together 15 years, like, you know, all these stories, but we just don't talk about them.
And there's not a lot of time where it's just us alone talking.
Uninterrupted.
Yeah, no distractions, no, even just being in a restaurant where there's just lots of people and distractions is completely different than now. Like we could be talking with friends over or any other circumstance where we're talking about the same exact thing and I don't get as emotional.
Well, I think it's just because we don't get to talk like this.
Yeah.
It's almost like after 15 years, like it's like we already know the stories. What would be the point of me telling you this again? But the whole point of me saying it out loud right now and you thinking about the fact that like I was just a kid who was just alone.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy about every adult who's watching this right now. Like there's no difference between me, and this is kind of what makes me sad for Liam and Caroline, and probably one of the hardest things about parenting. We've both officially choked now. I choked right before the podcast started and then was like, well, that's good.
Took about 10 minutes for you to record.
10 minutes to start because I couldn't stop coughing. Yep. That's what is probably my least favorite part about parenting, is knowing what the world is going to do to them.
I don't want to think about it.
And it doesn't even mean that it's going to be anything traumatizing necessarily. Like I'm not thinking about worst case scenarios. I'm just thinking about the fact that there's no difference between me and that boy that was just like alone in his room playing games to keep his mind off stuff, other than just I've been through enough to where it doesn't bother me anymore. So it's like Liam as a boy growing up into a man at some point is going to become a good man from just having to go through shit.
You don't like that. I just want him to stay his sweet little innocent self.
And he has to do it on his own.
Yeah, it's so hard.
And I have to let him do it on his own, or he'll never
get those experiences to become.
It's just like, like you just won't learn if the dad safety net is always there. Like it'll still be there, but he is gonna have to do it on his own. Like there's plenty of times where, like, sure, my dad or mom would have been there, but then there's also some times where like a breakup would happen and I would just be depressed by myself.
It's so sad.
But also at the same time, me going through that on my own allows me to deal with a lot of different things that happen now without letting it affect my ability to do my job. Yeah. My job or this job or take care of the family. So it's like I wouldn't be as good of a man if I didn't go through that on my own. So I know that's what Liam will have to do.
That's true.
And that sucks.
It does. It might be one of the hardest parts of being a parent.
Yeah. I feel like everyone like that's not a parent thinks about like the like worst case scenario stuff, like threats to their safety, threats to their health, and then you don't think about the small thing. But like they don't think about like the small things, like there's going to guaranteed be a time where they don't feel safe and we don't know and aren't there.
I don't want to think about that.
Right. And not like, again, not like worst case scenario, but just like I don't feel comfortable here, or I don't feel liked, or I don't feel wanted. And they just may not choose to tell us. Not because they don't trust us, not because any of that, just because sometimes you just go through it on your own.
I hope that we raise them to be confident or strong enough to be able to walk away from a scenario that makes them feel uncomfortable or feel, I don't know.
I am one of the most confident, will strong, maybe that's not a word, people. Same reason I never did drugs, but I was around friends who did drugs all the time. Just was just like, I'm good, right? Peer pressure, didn't care. Like, but like also at the same time, there were situations that I was uncomfortable in that I just accepted it because
it's just life.
I didn't want to be alone, and that's what people were doing, right? Same thing. Like I wasn't really comfortable with people doing drugs or whatever, but I'm not gonna go sit by myself, so whatever, you know.
Same.
Or other stories where like I was just involved in just like dumb stuff as a kid, right? Being in bad scenarios, and it's like, well, so that will happen, unfortunately, for them. It's just part of growing up. They're going to do dumb things. They're going to be in dumb situations. I just even think of dumb times like almost falling asleep on like the way to work because I'm working overnights and my sleep schedule's not flipped right. And I like, you know, doze off until I'm like on the other side of the road. And I'm like, if there was another car there, like my life's over.
Yeah.
And I was just lucky that one time, one thing didn't happen. It's just like,
if you don't pay attention for just the smallest bit of time,
it's just like, this is what I mean by like I'm always present to remember how lucky we are to have this, and that's why I try and remind you all the time. Not saying that you don't, but it's just something that I want to make sure.
Yeah,
it's much
it's
easier
sometimes hard in the moment. But
of course.
Yeah,
it's the same reason like before Apollo passed, when I was like, you know, you were touched out by Liam and going through postpartum, and you know Apollo would just try and come up and see you, and you'd kind of just like pat his head a little bit, and I'm like, you gotta pet him, like. He used to be the baby, and you're going to regret, you know, not loving him enough.
Here's his little hair. Oh, where'd it go? It was on my pants. He's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
5 years.
He's been gone.
3 years?
January 4th, 2022. It's the year after I started streaming.
His birthday was July 4th, but it was January
4th.
like 12th or something like that. 12th.
It was early in January, yeah.
Yeah.
Early in January of 2022.
Hairs are still showing up.
So it's been about 4 years.
That was one of the hardest things to ever go through in my entire life.
I don't remember your grief.
About Apollo?
Yeah, because usually I'm there for you, but like...
But you were going through it.
Yeah. Usually, I'm very present, and I got locked down. I don't even remember what you went through.
Wow.
Because I
That's
was
saying
just...
something.
I know. I just...
That was the most upset I've ever seen you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, you weren't just crying. It was sobbing on the way home.
Yeah.
That was hard. So I was already upset. And then just seeing a man cry at all is the worst thing in the world. It makes you just... But yeah, I still cry about him. Yeah. It's nuts.
Yeah, I've told the story a few times. Stream got to literally... Like, I was streaming when we found out. Like, when I got the phone call. On January, maybe it was January 4th that we got the phone call. Then January 12th was when the next week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When he passed, so we had him for like 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah, he was going to be 6.
He was going to be 6, so he was only 6 years old. Purebred yellow lab, had him for the like right before we got married, so like 2015.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, we
July
just
4th,
got him
2015. So he
that
would have been
month.
like 2 months old when we got married.
Yeah.
And one night he threw up out on the carpet. He always slept with us in the bed, and so it was like Maria, Liam, me, Apollo at my feet, and then he threw up, which not
Yeah.
uncommon. He just
Labs eat stupid things.
it
for
was
sure,
just like, and then he threw up like 2 nights later,
Yeah.
and it was like, all right, let's just go check, and then she felt around his sternum and abdomen a little bit, and she's like, I feel like it distended a little bit or a little hard. Could just be gas, could be, but I want to rule out a blockage or whatever. So I want to do a ultrasound, but I'm just letting you know I'm not an ultrasound person, but I can do one. And I was like, yeah, I'd prefer if you did it, because
She was amazing. I loved his vet.
to me it was more important, and not that other vets wouldn't be good or other wouldn't be efficient, but like I just felt like her caring about our animal was more important than having somebody more experienced with a ultrasound. So she did it. We had to leave him there. I came back, did my stream, and then while I was streaming, she called and gave us the news, which was pretty much like, I do see like some masses
Everywhere.
Yeah. And she's like, and I do see them in a lot of places, but again, I could be completely wrong, and I would prefer that you go get a actual real second opinion at like a big big vet clinic, like a big place. And it was like, okay. And he had still kept throwing up and whatnot. So we had to make a trip to like Syracuse.
Yeah.
So I drove him out to Syracuse, and it was like during peak COVID, so I couldn't go in. So they had to bring him in there, and she calls me on the phone, and she's just like, so he has masses on his liver, on his in and around his mesentery, which is like the structure that kind of holds his everything in, and also like around his adrenal gland, it's around his aorta. So I've seen enough medical TV shows to understand what she's telling me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So what, like a week? And she was like, well, we can, insert a feeding tube, so that way we can get him some food, and like maybe some like chemo and whatnot. And I was like, is chemo really gonna do anything to that much? And she's like, probably not. We don't really look to cure cancer in dogs, because reasonably all you're looking to do is extend the quality of the life anyway, because even if you could extend it 3 years, they might pass at 8, or not 8, pass at like 10 or 11 when they would have from natural causes anyway. So you basically just shrink them enough to where they can just live a normal happy life. But in this case, no, I agree, I don't think it would do much. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that then, or we're not doing that. I don't think I even called you, which I don't know if that's disrespectful or not.
No, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted you to do it anyway.
But she just said that, and I was just like, so put in a feeding tube and feed him through a tube forever, and just to get like maybe
It would
a
be
couple
for
more
us,
months.
not him. Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I do have to, like, I just have to offer these things. And I was like, I felt like almost offended, and I was just like, no. And she's like, thank you for saying no. And she's like, I shouldn't say thank you for saying no, but like, thank you for saying no. And I was like, I don't understand why anybody would.
Yeah.
And I get it,
been a
people.
horrible
It's
life
hard
for
to
him.
lose pets, but like, I'm not gonna force him to suffer to chill with me for like 4 more months. Like,
It was hard enough to watch him suffer for a week.
yeah, he deteriorated so fast.
It's nuts.
He went from running around, no issues, to threw up a few times, to a week later, like keeping no food down.
I made him chicken and rice every day,
Yep.
and scrambled eggs. You wouldn't eat any of it.
So had to drive him back, and that was on like a Thursday afternoon. And even by that night, I don't know if it's because they were probably pressing on his stomach or whatever with the ultrasound and whatnot, but he deteriorated even faster just in one night to where he stopped eating like that day, like Thursday. And I don't think he ate much Wednesday either. And he was getting sick a lot. So he was in too much pain to lay down because I think that was putting pressure on his abdomen. But he was too tired to stand up. So all he would do is just stand next to you and then almost fall over. Mm-hmm. And after about an hour of watching that, I even like tried to get him to lay down with me. We tried to give him just a little bit of eggs and he just wouldn't. We called the vet and I was like, can you get us in tomorrow morning? Like, I cannot wait until Monday.
Yeah.
So
I remember on your way home from the big one, it was snowing and I wasn't driving anywhere, so I walked down to the hardware store and they have everything. So they had random dog toys. And I go up and the lady is like, "Oh, did you get a new puppy?" And I just started sobbing.
Yeah.
And poor lady. So no, it's his last toy. And he couldn't even play with it. He felt like crap.
Yep.
It sucked so bad.
So we call her and again, this is during COVID, so I just got told like I can't go in during the scan with him. And I was like, if you can't let us be in there, what are my options? Because I'm not bringing him somewhere where I won't be able to be there.
Yeah.
Trying to decide if I'm like, I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I mean, no one knows our vet.
True. So either way, she's like, come in before we open. I'll bring you guys in there, and then I won't, make or have any tech have to go in there. When I come in, you can stand on the other side of the room, and I'll take it upon myself.
So they weren't supposed to let us in?
No.
Oh.
No.
I don't think I knew that.
No, no. She was like, we're not allowed to come in before hours.
Oh.
And I won't make any techs have to blah, 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 because you're supposed to be like 6 feet apart and whatever. When I come in, you guys can just stand on the other side of the room and whatever, because I was like, if you won't let us be in the room, then I'm going to have to find somebody who will come here. I'll pay somebody to cut, like I'll figure it out. But she luckily accommodated us. And then we brought him there. And they gave him a pretty big painkiller injection into like the back of his leg. And that was like the first time that he actually started to act like somewhat normal. Like,
he sat down.
Finally.
Gave us kisses.
And then just constant kisses.
Yeah.
Probably from finally not being in pain.
Yeah. This took a turn.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on talking about this. How did we talk about this? Just because we found a piece of his hair 4 years later. And so I knew I wanted to be present in that moment. I don't know why. I think it's just because like in my head, like we had been there from like the day he was born. So like we were pretty close to like his first breaths. Like we had been there, like we had been there like an hour after he was born or something like that. Maybe a couple hours after he was born. That's like when we met him. And then we just came back each week to meet him every week. Mm-hmm. So he lays down and she's like, I'll basically just explaining it to us, just giving him basically something that would just put him under. And then we just give him too much. And that just at some point, slows his heart to where it's just a to where it's not stable. And then it just stops. Okay. So he laid down for a second. And I remember telling you, I was like, like he's going to fall asleep soon. And that'll be it. Right. Even if he's like here, like he's going to fall asleep because he hasn't slept in. He didn't sleep that whole night when he was here. He just kept getting sick and whatnot. And so she did the thing, and then we watched the end. And then the weird thing for me wasn't watching his last breaths, but it was actually like leaving him there.
Yeah.
Like the physical physically Apollo like leaving him there, even though it was like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna bring him home.
Yeah.
Bury
I
him
didn't
or
want
something
to
like that.
ugly cry today.
But no, walking out of the doors was for sure the hardest. I think I just stood in the doorway for a good like extra 10 seconds
Yeah.
because
I remember you saying, "How am I supposed to leave him?"
Yep. Yep. I always, when I talk about this, I'm always like, it feels so disrespectful to my dad to talk about how hard it was to lose my dog, but he was with me like so many bad things happened over that 5 years
Yeah.
that he was a very attached dog to me. Like he was just with me like 24/7 everywhere I went. Like there's still clips of him like because like we didn't have this baby gate here, he would walk up and like get under my arm. And then so like throughout my day, I think it was more just like the shock of him being gone that affected me so much. But it was for sure the hardest thing I've ever gone through.
Mm-hmm.
So he would sleep with us and or me because for a while there, I would have to go to work and I wouldn't want to wake you up early, so I would sleep on the couch and he would just sleep with me on the couch. And then I would go
Downstairs.
shower and he would follow me to the shower and lay outside the shower. And then I would leave with him in the window as I'm leaving. And then I would go home to him in the window. And then I would come into him greeting at me at the door. And then if I was eating, he would obviously
Yeah.
be sitting next to me. And then you guys would go to bed and then he would just lay at my feet at that chair like while I was deciding what to do. You know, he was with me through Dad dying and Buddy dying and Rex died. Yeah, he was with me through like all of the Lyme disease issues and the stuff that preceded the other health issues, which is like a whole other story, which would probably have to be a whole other episode. So he was just with me through, God, now that I think about it, he was with me through our marriage, all of the health issues and all of like the losses we had over those same amount of years.
And both kids.
And yeah, literally, he met both kids. Yeah, and then to just leave him there I was very fortunate to not experience too much loss in a good 30-something years of my life. Like,
I mean, same. Yeah.
like, you know, I did lose my dad. All of mine came like all at once. It was like
Yeah.
Dad, Buddy, Karen, my friend Matt I grew up with, both childhood dogs, all within like a 18-month span, and then
That's a
Apollo.
rough time.
Yeah. So he was with me through all of that, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you know, it wasn't like he's getting old, so it was just he's fine, and then 7-8 days later he's gone. So I remember being like, I don't know how to just leave him.
Nope. And it was just so weird to see him there, but know that.
So
he's
it was
not there.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like the first time I had just like watched anything. Like I've seen movies, I've seen TV shows, but I had never watched something or someone die.
No, that
like
was
I had never watched
very
The
weird.
Last Breath. I had never watched, you know, when my dad passed, I never saw it.
I think it was the ugliest, noisiest cry I've ever done in my life when he stopped breathing.
I remember when he stopped and you cried. Yeah.
Everyone was crying.
Yeah, they loved him.
Yep. Goofy goober.
Yeah.
All our kids are goofy goobers.
Yep. But no, and then yeah, it was like somebody asked me over the past like however many months because they're dealing with some grief with losing somebody or something, and it's just like I do well with grief. On my own, which is probably tough for you.
Yeah. I want to be there. I want to fix it.
Yeah.
I want to do all the things to help.
Yeah.
You don't
For
want
me, it's
any
just
of it.
like they asked what I do, and it's just like I make sure I feel it. I don't avoid it at all.
I mean, that's definitely the better option. That's what my therapist told me to do. To be able to sit with
So I
the
think about it.
feelings.
I think about it nonstop. Every moment I am just like, he's gone.
Yeah.
Right. And that's probably what made it harder is I made sure to feel all of it right away. Like I'm leaving him here.
Harder in that moment, but probably better and easier for the long run.
Yeah. It's just like when I'm walking out the door, my brain is logically thinking like I'm leaving him here. He is gone. And then when I'm getting in the car, I'm like, this is my first drive away from him. Yeah. And I will never,
My nose is all wet.
Huh?
My nose is all wet.
And I was like driving away, like I will never see him again. And then getting home, it was January, so it was still like winter, and his footprints were still like frozen into so that's another thing. And then driving
just everywhere.
Right. And then driving up and seeing the window where he would always be would never happen again. And I would just actively remind myself of that every time.
Yeah. I still anticipate him, like if there's a loud noise or a car beeps or something.
That just happened to me, sometime last year. I rarely was like kind of dozing off on the couch at night while we were here, which never happens, but kids and life. Yeah. And it was night, and somebody's car started right in this parking lot here, and it sounded exactly, and I was kind of dozing off, and it sounded exactly like that low growl he would do if he heard something outside. And I'm laying on the same couch that I used to sleep with him on, and so I would be laying on the couch, and he would be sleeping on that like ottoman part that like sticks out.
Yeah.
So I immediately put my arm down, because that's usually what I would do, like don't fucking wake people up. So I would like put my hand on him and pet him, and that would get him to stop. And I remember being like, oh my God, I just literally reached for Apollo 4 years later, just out of instinct. So it's just like, I think that's what was so hard, was the first of everything. Like the first time getting home and he's not in the window, the first time opening that door and he's not here, the first time like taking a shower, and I would still step out to step over him, because I would always have to step over because he would always be laying right at the base of the shower. Yeah. So I would still do things like step out and step over, and then I would just actively remind myself, like, you don't have to do that anymore.
We got so fortunate that the kids didn't really understand.
Oh God. That's what I'm saying, because it's like I have a job to do, and it's to provide stability for everybody and be there for everybody. But
I couldn't imagine having.
That's why I'm saying it's wild. I don't even remember what you went through.
Yeah, that is so crazy, because that never.
So I remember everything. I never don't remember things. I don't remember what you went through, because I was just off on my own a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's how I process things.
I'm just sitting in the chair crying, holding Caroline, because she's a baby at that point.
That's
she's
true.
About 2 months old. Yeah. And Kira got us a pillow of an exact picture of Apollo, and we still have it, and the kids still play with it. And we had never even really told Liam what happened, but we said, Liam, you know who this is? He said, yeah, it's Apollo. And we're like, you know what happened? He goes, he went to sleep.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I don't like, spoiler alert, but I'm not religious. I'm not spiritual in any way. Like, I'm really not. In moments like that, don't really change it for me. But I did find it very, like we've never really explained what death is. We've dabbled in it lately to be like, you don't want to do these things. To be safe. Yes, you don't want to go out in front of a car because you could get very hurt. You could die. Yeah. And briefly trying to explain to him how the world works, like that would mean you're not here anymore, and that would be very bad. That would make us very sad, et cetera, et cetera. So but at that point we had never had that conversation before. No. And for him to be like, yeah, of course, this is Apollo, and do you know where he is? And he's like, oh yeah, he's asleep. And it's just like,
I don't know how he even, I honestly don't know how he came up with that, or
I don't either.
I don't know. Because we didn't say that he died or anything. He just didn't
Thank
come
God
back
we didn't
one day.
have to, like, if the kids were torn up about it, it's like I would have an obligation. And I probably had an obligation to you, but, like, we would have had to take shifts or something, because I could not lock it down. No. But that's the same thing. Like, if we just go back to, like, that moment, like, I played games.
Yeah, you did.
And I remember, like, going through all the health stuff, which, like I said, we can always save for another episode. But, like, I would always I don't know if it's just because I've trained my mind that way, but I would always just get so into the game I'm playing that I just would genuinely forget.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
then,
what I like about reading right now.
mm-hmm.
I kind of got back into it in the last few years when I was pregnant with Caroline.
Yeah. Granted, I would always bounce back to reality, and it would just be like, so people ask about it in grief and whatnot. I was like, well, yeah, I cried like all day until I was distracted. And then
Yeah.
I would actively remind myself like he's gone. And then I would get upset. And or when dad passed, like I just, the weird thing about dad passing was it's like the last of everything. Like we just got rid of Apollo's bag of dog food.
Yeah. I think it was this past year.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to throw it away.
So like, I don't think I talked about it because
We
sometimes
still
I
haven't
don't.
painted over those
Yeah.
scratches, excuse me, by the door.
Yep. I don't think I talked about it one time, but when we were upstairs, just because I just frustrating for you, but I just deal with things on my own. When we had just redone what is Caroline's room now, but it was my dad's room. And then we were starting to tear up the carpet in the back porch top area. And I was just like, this is like the last of like his place he used to live that I'm actively
You
tearing
did
up.
mention that.
Did I?
remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but it's like, this is every time we're doing something on the house, it's just like I'm removing the things that existed here when he still existed. And that was always really like a weird feeling. Because it's like things like that like don't have memories, but they kind of do.
Yeah, it's significant.
It's like that piece of it sounds stupid, but like it's like that piece of wood was here through his life.
Yeah.
And I'm tearing it out.
I mean, all of this stuff was here. I put a lot of paint over it.
Yeah. But I mean like tearing up that carpet and getting rid
I know
of
what you mean.
old stuff. It's just like those things, were here while he was going through stuff in his life when he was raising us. And
It's so cool to think that all of the family was here at some point, seeing the old videos and seeing the old banister and all the old paneling and stuff, and to see you as a kid and Jen and all the aunts and uncles and stuff. It's really cool to think that it's been
in
through the family for that long.
My grandparents, so 4 generations now.
Yeah.
Because like Liam and Caroline are here. So it's like, did the same thing with dad. But like I feel like the reason I don't consider it as hard is it just wasn't as much of a shock.
Yeah.
Like his health was bad for a while.
A long time coming.
And it was a shock because he hit his head and that's what ended up being the cause was he had fell one day. And people had asked me in stream if I regretted not like a conversation. And I was like, kind of, but like it just wouldn't have been him / us.
Yeah.
We had a very unique relationship. Like I don't feel like anybody really knew him like I knew him or
yeah.
I would not chemistry, but just like the I don't feel like no offense to my dad. I don't feel like anybody could really live with my dad except for me. Right. And then
the most stubborn man I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. And he was saying I love you more, like a lot more to me, and it just like wasn't something we said, but like it was something that didn't need to be said. It wasn't like I'm not sitting here being like, oh well, my dad didn't say he loved me enough. It's like we knew. It's like, all right, love you. I'm like, love you too. And then just like, but like it wasn't common, but like I noticed it a lot more. He was like, all right, buddy, I love you, and he would just say it more, and it was like, well.
Yeah, and then the last voicemail that you have of him saying he wanted to see
the
you
last voicemail was you didn't really get many sentimental conversations, or at least I didn't. Like I said, we just had a dynamic that worked. Like we didn't talk about the bad things. He'd even call me and talk about like some like serious health issues, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm sure you're fine. He's like, yeah, I'm sure I'm fine. And then we would just go about life, because like I said, same thing for him. He's just like, what am I gonna do? It is what it is. It's like, yep. Right. And then same thing though when he passed, like it's like day 1 sucks. Like so same thing with Apollo. Day 1 sucks, day 2 is easier, day 8 is easier, week 7 is easier. And now it's just like, yeah, I'll talk about it and I'll get choked up and whatever. And then I'll hear a song about a fucking YouTube, about a dead dad or something, and it'll catch me off guard.
Oh, that one song. Makes me cry every single time.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. I'm crying every time.
Yep.
Are people going to want to watch this? This is very depressing.
Well, I mean, I
guess it's going to change up from the others.
The things that you worry about are the reasons people would watch this.
Fair enough.
Seeing other people like talk about going through things they've gone through or whatever, it's just part of life.
Yeah. Maybe
so
it'll
it's
help
like,
them get through their hard times too.
Yeah. This is just stories. This is just life. This is just it's relatable. It's authentic. This is unedited. Like I've said, this is we're not cutting stuff out if it's said wrong or if you choke on your drink, right? It's just this is what it is.
Yeah.
So like me going through the hardest time, like losing my dog, my dad, like 2 childhood friends, my other 2 childhood dogs, my dad's longtime girlfriend, losing my job, going through the health issues over like a 2 or 3 year period. Like even while sitting here talking about, it's like talking about all these great things, but it's just like all those losses still just make me be like, yo, we're just really lucky to have 2025.
Yeah.
You're healthy. I'm healthy as far as we're aware. The kids are healthy as far as we're aware. Right. And it's just like that can change immediately at any time.
Yep.
Like Apollo was fine. Then he wasn't. My dad was fine. Then he wasn't. Right. And that's not like you don't go about your life living like, oh no, now being anxious about tomorrow. Like you live your life like we just had a great year.
Yeah.
We didn't lose anybody. Great year for content. Kids had probably the best year. Like they like Christmas was for sure the best. Like how much they enjoyed Christmas and were excited for it. Taking them to Lights on the Lake, how much they were excited for it and all the stuff we did.
So many train shows.
Yeah, all the train shows. Like trying to decide like one of the best years of our life.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's we have however many left. Hopefully like 40, 50, right? 40, 50 years will put us in the 80s. Yeah. Hopefully we get that together.
I hope so.
But let's just say over the next 20 years, we're going to have some bad years. Probably not between us. I think we're past ever having like bad relationship years, but we're going to have some rough things happen over the next 20 years. So it's a reminder when we have a year like this, when reflecting on it, to be like, that was a good year. It was a very good year. Like it'll be a year when we look back, when the kids are out and we're starting our next chapter of our life, like 2025 will be like, that was a great year.
I think I tried to really slow down this year and spend a lot of time just hanging out with them, especially over the summer. We spent a lot of time in the backyard, in the water, because it was really hot. And these past 2 weeks we've had off with them for a Christmas break, and the flu's going around like crazy, so we're not going around really anyone much, and we've just hung out at home and played with their toys, played in the snow, and just try to be present and enjoy it, even though it's really hard sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy, and I think I said yesterday and today, I cannot wait till they go back to school. But at the same time, I don't want them to, because I like being able to just, thankfully, thanks to all of this and we can just have the slow mornings and not have to be anywhere. And I really like that. And I think I am kind of a hermit. I kind of have been my whole life. And I don't know. I like being home and just, I don't know, our little happy bubble. I like being social too. It's safe. But people come here.
This is how this house has always been. This was the house that everybody came to. Everyone's friends came to. When friends were,
I love it.
When friends needed somewhere to stay for a couple weeks, when my dad's friends or aunt's friends, had something going on, they came to the Dicksons house.
Yeah, I love that.
That's probably the only time I've gotten, even just over the past few years, the only thing that really still chokes me up about Dad is unless we're watching a movie about like, oh, this guy loses his dad. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And or like a song like that Monsters song by James Blunt or whatever that sings about losing his dad.
The one that makes me cry?
No, that one's by that one's the.
I can't think of his name. I'm real bad with names though. How do I say goodbye?
Yeah, that's not that one. No, the one where like he does the American Idol audition, Ian Tongi. And he man. And it's a James Blunt song, and it's called Monsters. And it's like,
I'd probably know if I heard it.
Yeah. No, that one gets me more than the other one. Because the other one is a song that the guy wrote for his dad who got diagnosed with cancer and he ended up surviving. But that one was tough. But this one was worse because I was watching it there. I'll show you after so you can cry more. You've cried a lot lately.
I really have.
But I think it's good.
You would think I would be pregnant, but the tubes are gone, so it's impossible.
No, but I think it's good. I think you're crying because you're taking the time to be in the moment more rather than like. Because I feel like when you're not crying, I feel like you're focused. You're worried about what's going to happen in the future, or you're worried about what you said 4 years ago to somebody, right? You're just thinking about all the stuff in the past, or you're thinking about the future. You do, but I feel like the reasons that you've suggested to me that like as to why you're crying more are because you're just taking in the moment.
Yeah, because I think I forced myself to not feel them the last few years.
No, it's good.
Like I wouldn't let myself get upset about the kids getting big and oh my God, what is wrong with me?
Why do you think there's something wrong with you every time that like these, like when I ask you to be in the moment, it's this is not a bad or condemnable feeling or an embarrassing feeling. These are what I try and tell you all the time. Like when I watch those videos of like that old man crying because he misses his wife. Sorry. One of us is going to go through that.
Yeah.
It is a good thing to think about, not because you want to be sad in the moment, but because it makes it easier not to take these moments for granted, that we get to sit here and chat for a living, right?
And cry.
Yeah.
Just cry for hours.
I don't know why you always just immediately think that crying is bad.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be annoying to watch.
No. Like everything you've thought so far, like, it just brings me back to like, you're just always proved wrong. Right, way back to episode 1, you're always proved wrong. I guarantee you nobody will watch this and just be like, why would she cry about that? Will there be some dumbass? Sure. Yeah, he's going to be like, she's always crying and he just is just always so monotone and just doesn't care about anything. Yeah, all right, man. Yeah. That's just how I sound. Like, but like, I mean, the only, like, I get like that, you know, when we watch some of those videos or watch the videos of the, like, holding the son for the last time.
Ugh, that one got me too.
Yeah, it's just
but
like...
Liam wants me to hold him every single day.
Or when I go, like, every time we go to a wedding and like, the aunts or, like, the cousins will have a for those who couldn't be here thing, and there will always be my dad. And then one of my aunts will always tell me, they'll always walk up while I'm just kind of standing there staring at the table, and they'll be like, he would be so proud of you. And I'm just like...
Yeah, Judy. Yep.
I know.
I started to walk over to you, and she's like, I got it. Like she always does.
Yeah. She's like, he'd be so proud of you. And I'm just like... It would be dope for him to, like, see all of this. Mm-hmm. What the house looks like now, and playing video games for a living, and... That's what like bothers me the most, I think, is just like he didn't get to see any of this.
I know. It sucks.
Or he didn't get to like be a grandpa, which he would
like loved
if
it.
His health was better, like he would have been
the
not like
grandpa.
not like comparative to other grandpas, but like he would have liked to go to the sports things when they were like he would have liked to have been part of that stuff.
Play catch with Liam.
Yeah. So it's just like, that's the thing I regret the most, is that he probably won't. Like, I don't remember my dad's dad. And I remember a little bit of my grandma, like a little bit, but like I think she passed away when I was like 5 or 6. So I mean, like, not much. So like Liam probably won't remember, and obviously Caroline won't. So those are the things Liam I probably regret the most, that bothered me the most. But that's what's cool about these videos or this podcast or anything we've made is like they say like you die twice, like you die when you die, but then you also die like the last time somebody ever remembers you or speaks your name, because that's when
really
you're like
sad.
really gone.
Yeah.
But
That's
these
really
videos will be here forever, be talking about
We're
this.
never leaving.
We'll be here forever unless the world ends, then but like these videos will be here forever. My kids can watch this, my grandkids can watch this, my grandkids could always watch this to see what their great grandfather was like or what their great grandmother was like and what their grandparents were like. These will always be here as long as humanity is here, or in if I don't know if YouTube shuts down, but like these will always be here.
Yeah.
These will be archived somewhere. So
They're
Apollo
gonna think
lives
we're
on
either really
forever.
cool or really lame.
Apollo lives on forever.
His hair
Consistently.
Here it is. Where did I get it?
I don't know. So Apollo lives on.
There it is.
Number one question.
Aha! Apollo.
Are we getting another
puppy.
dog? No.
I want a golden retriever.
We
so
will one
bad.
day for sure. But I want to make sure we have the time
Yeah.
to give the dog, and right now I think we don't.
I have
that's
a
the only
hole in
reason
my
we
heart
don't.
that only a dog can fill.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to handle it. I know I wouldn't, but I want one so bad.
I don't know what my plan was for this episode, but it definitely was
It
not.
wasn't this. It wasn't. Like, I got some questions on my phone that I thought of.
All right, last question before
Unscripted.
we end. Yeah,
Unplanned.
It's unscripted, unedited. Yep.
Here's a whole hour of Maria crying.
Last question was I almost did. And I guess for those curious, like I don't try not to cry. I don't. It doesn't bother me to cry. I wouldn't even care to cry on camera and post it. I just like you'll hear it, but like I just don't. And like my eyes will get red
and glassy.
Yeah, they'll get red, but like I just can't get I can't get that. They just don't like. I just don't get a tear unless
maybe
like
if I they would just call out. I don't know.
Maybe that's why my eye just always gets like super irritated. Maybe I'm just
maybe
don't have enough
just
tear
blocked.
ducts. I don't know.
They're all clogged.
It's hard to get tears. I don't know. When Apollo and my dad died, there's a lot of tears the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
listen. I don't
function.
understand why they say like, oh, you need a good cry. It makes you feel better. No, it doesn't.
I think not a sobbing cry, but when I release some tears and I'm like, okay.
I feel like it's
better.
more just because you process something, not because you actually cried. What is
I don't
the
know.
evolutionary impact of it? Because like
I
all
feel
that
a
I
little
felt
better.
Yeah,
Not a
no,
big one though.
No. I think it's because you processed something, and that is good. Because you didn't hold it in, you didn't restrict the thoughts on it, you thought through the process, and that came with crying, and that made you feel better. I don't believe that crying actually makes you feel better.
I get what you're saying, but
because when I think through things and I
better.
think through the grief, it does help. But the actual act of crying itself, like I don't cry a lot, so like I don't experience this a lot. So, but it was just like my eyes burned, like it felt like I was like was in a pool with a lot of chlorine. My eyes hurt, my face hurt,
Your
my
head
nose,
Yep.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
And then you get really puffy.
I don't care about how I look or whatever. It just like it hurt. I was just like crying is stupid. Like my nose hurts, my eyes hurt. Like this is dumb. I don't like. No, I don't need a good cry. I just need, I just let me feel the sadness. But just like I don't know. Crying sucks.
Right.
But last question before we end because it's 12:13, 14. I don't remember what time we
Like
started.
11:05.
Oh boy. If you could get rid of one human emotion permanently, and not one that's like depression, like a depressive disorder, like I'm talking about just like a regular human emotion that everyone has, and you could get rid of one, what would it be?
I think it would be hate or anger, maybe meshed into one.
I think anger can be healthy when done properly. I think people need to be angry
Fair enough.
in certain situations, but hate.
So maybe
is hate a feeling? Maybe it is. Hate could be
I was
good.
gonna say jealousy, but I was
Contempt,
like, nah.
hate,
Yeah.
contempt, like something like that. Of course, just
Yeah.
it's probably good. I thought you'd say like anxiety or something like that, but I think anxiety is also beneficial. Just like anxiety, jealousy, anger, I think those are all very beneficial human emotions. It's just you need to work on what you do with
Keep hitting
those What?
I keep hitting it. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Menu.
I think it just like you just have to get good at, like, I get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just don't take it out on my family, and I just focus that energy on something productive that will make something better, that won't make me angry or whatever, right?
I just think nothing good comes from hate.
Nothing good does come from hate.
Yeah.
There are things that are very warranted to hate.
Yes.
But like
like hate towards people or a certain group of people
that hurt kids or anything like that. Yeah. There's reasons to hate for sure.
No, I meant hate towards like.
Oh, you mean like unjust
in a bad
hate?
Way. Yes.
Yeah. It's nothing but bad for the world.
Mm-hmm. The hate towards the people that hurt kids is very warranted. So I don't know. That's a tricky one. What would you get rid of?
I don't mind jealousy. I don't mind anxiety. I don't mind being sad. Sad's okay. I don't even even though like I don't get sad too much. Like I do not enjoy being sad, but I welcome that part of
being
life.
Sad.
I welcome that part. Like I enjoy life. I like all of it, even the bad things. Like it's just a great life. I don't know.
Huh. Your brain is interesting.
Yeah, I enjoy, like, I don't feel like I can really appreciate 2025 without experiencing 2021 and 2020 and 2022. Like all the awful things that happened. Like it's like, I feel like being sad grounds you. And not sad over the wrong things, but like not for people who are going through depression and whatnot, but I'm talking about just like a sad moment in your life. Like this is just part of it. It's part of the journey. Like nobody goes through, like when you like listen to a cool story, like somebody's story, it's not like the interesting parts are the parts where they persevered through like awful moments. No, like we can always talk about how great 2025 is as part of the podcast and story, but like that's not really going to be as interesting as talking about the shit we went through to get to 2025. That's why I'm just saying, like,
and you can't appreciate the good without going through the bad as much. Like you appreciate it so much more, and
that's why I mean, over the next 20 years, we're gonna have bad years.
Yeah. Right.
We have older parents. Good. Yep. Yes, we have older parents. We have friends that we did not expect to pass away over the past 5 years. We will have more. Yeah. Hopefully, neither of us. And hopefully kids stay healthy and everything like that.
It's not allowed, actually, so.
True. Yeah. I mean, I'm always working on my health. I finally, last year, 2025, for the first time since 2018, got all green on my blood work.
Woo!
Yep.
Yeah,
don't worry, y'all. Nothing crazy.
Iron was super low.
Don't worry.
That was this year.
Yeah. So your iron was super low.
Better
Mine
now,
was super high, and now both of ours is good. Yeah. My ferritin was high, and my elevated ANAs, and possible whatever.
We're so old talking about blood work.
Yeah. It's just like when you go through stuff. Yeah, we can't elaborate more. We can talk about stories about the financial path to where we're at now. We can talk about that'll be a good comment. So out of the things that we can talk about, aside from just rambling on and asking each other questions, we have stories around the wild health issues. Basically, it'll be what is an episode of Dr. House of me figuring out what was wrong with me while I paid $30,000-$40,000 to 15 different specialists to figure out what was wrong with me on my own, which saved my life.
Yep.
The path of getting treated, and then the side effects of getting treated, and all the other stuff that came with that. And there's also stories about Florida. There's also stories from your history and your life. So let us know in the comments if there's anything specific that you think would be an interesting aspect. I don't really plan on every single one of these podcasts to just be stories, but if they happen, they happen.
Yeah.
And not all of these, we have a lot of great moments to talk about. Don't worry. Right? It's not
not all doom and gloom.
Yeah, it's not just sorry for making you cry talking about our dog passing away. I just miss him. His collar is still over there.
Yep.
That collar's been there. on my stream setup right next to all of my stuff for the past 4 years. It got put there almost 4 years ago exactly. It has never been taken away. I still have his collar right there.
Nuts.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we did all the giveaways that we had because those went for the first 3 episodes. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, we are going to be putting out 52 episodes of this every Thursday at 1 p.m. We have probably 4 or 5 clips per week. The clips go up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and the YouTube channel to give you guys an idea of what's coming. The things that can help us the most is hitting the notification bell, leaving a like and a comment, and then watching the whole thing. If you're not going to watch the whole thing, maybe just leave it running, right? You watch like 20 minutes, that's good. Just,
Just
go,
let it play all the way.
Yeah, just go do something, come back, give us a good average watch time. That's what YouTube loves and enjoys. And or grassroots marketing. Just tell your friends and family if they like you. Like, hey, I think you guys would like this podcast about this guy and this girl.
Yeah,
she cries all the time. She cries all the time, and he just is super monotone and acts like,
sounds super
he doesn't
interesting.
he doesn't have feelings. But yeah. So anyways, it's been like well over an hour. I was really trying to keep these around 15 minutes, but we just keep failing. The biggest hope, it'll be really awful if it didn't record or something like that. Like this main episode with these real feelings. I'm always the most insecure about tech issues. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, we recorded an episode. We did the whole spiel. We had some good conversations go over there, and guess what? It didn't record. So if this happened this time, you might not see an episode ever again. So I guess it doesn't matter if I'm saying this because you wouldn't hear this. So hopefully it worked. We'll see you guys next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.